whispers, alibis thin. Two sharp-eyed sleuths say, all right, who sinned? Has tipped low, clues fall in line. They read between the lines, right on time. Grim starts sweating when the squad rolls through. Every story tested, most don't stand up to prove. So grab your fedora, jump right in. True Crime Squad's on, and the trouble begins. Join the super squad, bonus laughs, deeper clues. Same sharp sleuths, just extra clues.
Hey everybody, welcome to the True Crime Squad. I'm Kristi Brower here with my sister, co-host, and partner in crime, Katie Weaver. Hey Katie.
How's it going?
It's going well. How are you on this
Well, I have the
weird
flu or
Monday
something.
morning? Yeah.
Well, it's Monday night, so that's your problem.
I mean night. Yeah, that is part of my problem, yes.
I don't know. I got yesterday morning, we had our oddities market yesterday, Scott and I, and I woke up with a fever and was like, oh shit. I just powered through, but I've been pretty warm all day today. But I don't feel particularly terrible except for a fever. You know what I mean? Like what the fever gives you the aches and stuff. But
Yeah.
I had the flu shot and the COVID shot, and I'm wondering if I've got one of those things. It's just not hitting me nearly as hard because I had the shot.
Mm.
I don't know, but I've spent the entire
I
day
don't
on the
know.
couch with the dogs, and it has been great. But it didn't
Well,
hold me
I
back
mean,
from true crime, did it?
no, it did not. No, it did not. And I'll tell you why. That's because by the time Monday rolls around and we haven't done a show in 3 days, there's so much. We can't even do it all.
For sure. I have one little show and tell. This is something that I made 2 of these for our market. I sold one of them, so the other will go on Etsy. But look at how cool this is.
Yeah.
So it's glass. It's all glass. So it's a glass snake mounted on a panel so that you could hang it in a window or whatnot. And it's about 8 inches long. It's pretty good sized. But
it is. It's really pretty.
Look how freaking cool that is. Yeah.
Yeah, that turned out really good.
I really didn't think I could pull that snake off. And so anyway, I'm insanely proud of it. Scott said, I don't know, maybe you should just keep it. You like it so much. I really do, but I'll probably just make myself another one. But anyway.
I mean, that's the problem with making stuff.
Right. You can't keep it all.
You can't keep it all. Even if you want to. You just can't.
Your kids will be so mad at you someday. So mad at you.
Yeah.
That's already going to happen.
True.
But
it is. It is. But you know what? With that, let's get to some true crime because we have a lot today. Katie, I know you're going to kick us off with some major Utah is not okay.
Yeah. Oh, you guys, punching pillows advised. I have a story for you that I'm just shocked about and so horrified. Well, let me pull up my notes. I was going to do my other case first and then change my mind. So I had those notes up. So let me get there real quick. All right. So this happened, well, in Utah, in West Valley, Utah. And basically what happened is there was a man that was a driver for a transport company that transports disabled folks from point A to point B. This is a pretty common thing, and this is a Medicaid thing that, you know, these rides are paid for and provided. And these guys went from a group home to some kind of a day treatment program during the day. They were all from different facilities, it sounds like. 2 of them were nonverbal, and one of them was higher functioning but still needed quite a bit of assistance. Their names were Colton Moser. He was 25. Mosatia Moa, who was 22, and Tim Jones was 39. So these 3 were in a van with a guy who was supposed to be taking them to their destinations for the day. This is something they did daily. Like, this wasn't a new thing. And he just drove transport, right? So Isaiah Pulu was the driver. Well, Isaiah picked these 3 up in the morning, and one of them was being rowdy in the van. And it pissed Isaiah off. So he thought the thing to do would be to go home and chill out for a while. So he went to his house, pulled his van into his garage, left these 3 men, 2 of which were nonverbal, in the van running, and went in the house to eat and watch TV for 4 hours.
My God.
All 3 of them perished from carbon monoxide poisoning.
It's just unreal.
Isaiah claims, and Isaiah, let's be very clear. Nobody believes the fucking thing you say. Let's be very clear on that. He claims that he left the garage door open and the windows rolled down when he went inside. That doesn't make it better. It just doesn't.
No.
Nothing about this is okay. However, when these 3 were found, the windows were rolled up and the garage was closed.
My God.
It just doesn't
Carbon
matter.
monoxide poisoning. It's so unreal.
It's
like,
so
what the hell
sad.
did this little shit think was going to happen?
How dare he, man? How dare he do something like this?
Murdered them.
He murdered them. So he's facing charges of manslaughter. I don't have a picture of him because this is Utah, and they only release mugshots when they want to be grandiose, so we don't have one. But the families of these men are starting to speak out a little bit in absolute shock and horror. And I am just disgusted. So the latest article that came out from KSL was that this company has been ordered to put all of their employees through new training, and in the meantime, they're not allowed to take up any new contracts, or anything. Is it enough?
No.
How the hell would Isaiah Pulu not know that you can't do that?
Well, also, didn't anyone notice that these men
Right.
were missing? They
Right.
didn't arrive to their day program. Where was Isaiah when he was supposed to be picking up other people? Was this his vehicle, or did this vehicle belong to the transportation company?
I believe it belonged to the transportation company. Yeah.
Right. So
Right.
he just goes MIA with 3 vulnerable adults and no one notices for a half a
That was
day?
my thought. Right.
Wow.
And we
That
don't
is
know if there were some
unbelievable.
phone calls made or,
Yeah, like,
we don't know. But yeah, how did 3 men just fall off the grid for 4 hours before Isaiah decided to stop watching TV and eating sandwiches and go outside and discover that they had died?
God.
It
And
makes
what
me
kind
so
of
mad
hiring
because,
practices are these people doing and training
oh God,
to hire
and
the
just
drivers?
thinking about these 3. I mean, eventually they all just fell asleep, That's
Right.
what happens with carbon monoxide poisoning. But I've had it, I can tell you. But
Oof. Yeah, I know. We both have.
we both have, yeah. We almost died as kids. We
Yeah,
almost
from
died
carbon monoxide
from
poisoning.
carbon monoxide. Yep, we had an incident. But at any rate, it's just horrifying to me. Just horrifying that this happened at all. It makes me so sad to think of these men just abandoned in this car. And who knows what Isaiah said to them when he got out? What kind of threats were made?
Right.
Right? I mean, they stayed put. Nobody got out. Nobody did anything. They stayed put and sat right there and died.
You can't tell me that he didn't know that they were
Right.
going to die. I just don't believe that for a minute.
I would be
That he
shocked if
didn't
he
know.
stopped at his house and ran in to pee and left them alone. To
Yeah.
drive them to your house and just leave them for 4 hours, I just can't even. I can't even.
No, I can't either. Like, that, having worked in that system,
Mhm.
and also having a son who has actually ridden in transportation like that, there are he broke every rule they have to do what he
Mhm.
did.
Yep. Right, Bethy, good point. She said he didn't get angry and go home. He just went home. You're probably right. And
Yeah.
actually, you bring up for me another question that I had on this. And how many times has Isaiah done shit like this? What else has Isaiah done to
Right.
to
What else
his
has he
residents?
done?
What else has he done
Yeah.
to his writers? Yep.
Yeah. Because those are some very, very vulnerable humans
Yeah.
being transported on Medicaid transportation like that. Oh my God.
100% in Isaiah's hands. 100%. Yep.
I will
So
tell
he's
you though
charged.
that Medicaid transportation doesn't pay shit.
No, it
And
doesn't.
so
It's
the
not
people
great.
who are hired are in no way skilled
No.
individuals. They're not.
Yep. Yep. Let me tell you what his charges are. It is 3 counts of manslaughter and a few counts of injury to a vulnerable adult.
Manslaughter, huh?
Manslaughter. Yeah,
I really struggle to believe that.
me too. Me too. Right, Dig and Fix says I work at a day program and we're taught to never leave clients alone at all in a vehicle. Of course. Of course.
Ever. Right. Alone,
Yep.
period.
Ever. Yeah.
God almighty.
So, outrage, yes. Disgust, 100%. And just horror for the families of these victims and the victims themselves.
Can't imagine. It must have been scary. Just being left in the car and they
Yeah.
don't know what to do and they can't ask. And I'm sure that there was fear.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, who knows what this asshole said to them as he got out of
Right.
the car, too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, Irene? But you know how Utah does their sentencing. Who knows?
Yeah. And especially with the manslaughter charge, I really have questions about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's what I've got on that. We will keep an eye on this one to the best we can. Again, Utah, they make it a little harder to follow cases sometimes, but we'll keep an eye on it to the best of our ability because, wow, I'm speechless.
I am too. That's absolutely terrifying.
Yep.
And for anybody that's got a family member out there that's got to be riding this transport,
Yep. Yep.
it's horrifying. And I can't even say I'm surprised given my own contact with the system. I've seen some pretty heinous shit.
Yep.
And I know how poorly those transportation jobs pay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're not getting, people with skills or often people who even give a flying fuck.
Yeah.
I've seen. Not everyone. There's certainly
Of
some nice
course
people
not.
too, but
Sure,
I've
but
witnessed some things that are pretty scary.
yeah. Yep. For sure. Alrighty. Well, we'll keep an eye on it. And with that, I'm going to kick it over to you for our main case.
Yes. Well, the Edrick Faust trial continues to march along in court, and I continue to be unsure about what really happened in this case. This is the murder of Tara Baker. We talked about this several times last week. Today on the stand was Tara's boyfriend, Chris Melton. Chris being the original suspect in this case. I don't really feel more definitive after watching him today than I did before about whether or not he did this. This case is something else. This case is, they hardly ever even say Faust's name because there's so little evidence of Faust in this case. And I don't know, you guys. I've put together a couple of kind of summary videos. He was on the stand forever, like 3 hours, 3.5 hours. It was long, but I put together a couple of summary videos to kind of get you an idea of what was going on. I want you to also watch Chris Melton's demeanor. It's weird. His demeanor is strange. He gets really emotional at some points, but it's not sadness. It's like fear and anger, which is weird. Like, would you not be, I don't know, why does it go to those emotions? I just want you to watch the videos. We'll talk about them as we watch them, and you tell me what you think. I'm very curious to see if you think that this sways you one way or the other. So I'm going to show you a summary video first of the prosecution's examination, and then the second video will be the defense's cross-examination. And as you can imagine, today was fraught with a lot of objections and a lot of the poor
Oh, I'll
jury having
bet.
to leave and come back and leave and come back and leave and come back, and kind of the same stuff. I will say that Cruz, the defense attorney, he yeah, see, Jess, me too. Jess said his testimony convinced me is likely the one who did. See, me too. I'm like, how are they saying that this guy, that they are sure this guy didn't do it after today's testimony? It's just, oh, this trial drives me nuts. But anyway, Cruz has managed to chill himself out just a little. He's not been asking for as many mistrials. I'm trying to get together a solid number of how many he has asked for.
He's not asking for as many mistrials.
I know for sure last week that he asked for a mistrial 5 times. Okay. Then he kind of chilled out on that a little bit. But there's still a lot going on, you know, because he's got to poke holes in the narrative. He's got to poke holes in the evidence, and the whole job of the defense is to create doubt, right?
Mm-hmm.
To create doubt in the scenario that the prosecution is putting forth. And well, yeah, they are working really hard to show that Chris didn't do it. They're working harder to show, I agree with you, UMT Fit for Life, or UTM, sorry, which is weird, isn't it? Like, shouldn't they be working really hard to show that Edrick Faust did it?
Well,
that's not really how this trial's coming off. This was all about making sure we all know Chris Melton didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Except, do we know that? I don't know. Anyway, let's watch this. This is the prosecution. Just keep an eye on the way that this rolls out, as well as just watch Melton's demeanor, guys.
Sir, if you would, please raise your right hand and take an oath. Do you swear or affirm testimony you'll give to the court today be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, if you would, please have a seat and state and spell your name for the record, and just speak towards the microphone both now and when you're giving your answers, please.
Chris Melton, ChrisMelton.
And Mr. Melton, where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Loganville.
All right.
South Walton County, and Covington address, but I went to Loganville High School and School District.
Okay. And did you graduate from Loganville High School?
Yes, sir.
What year was it that you graduated from Loganville High School?
1996.
After you graduated from Loganville High School, did you go to college anywhere?
Yes, sir. Georgia College in Milledgeville.
Okay. Back when you were in high school, did you play any sports?
Yes, sir. Football, track, a year of golf. Was pretty busy with sports and involved with the school.
Once you got to Georgia College, where is Georgia College?
It's in Milledgeville, Georgia.
All right. When you got there, did you try to get connected with anything that was sports related?
Yes, sir. Once I was there, I wasn't on any type of sporting team, and I kind of missed the interaction. I missed being involved with the school, and I actually had a friend that I had made along the way that had come and introduced me to the cheerleading squad, and I thought that was interesting, so that's where it started there. Yes, sir.
Had you done any cheerleading before that or anything?
No, sir.
All right. Did you take to it pretty well?
I did.
Okay.
I was pretty athletic, and with the coaching and so forth and the support, it came pretty easy. Yes, sir.
Did you end up finishing your degree at Georgia College or leaving before you finished?
I left before I finished.
Okay. And so I want to go to your time while you were actually there at Georgia College. Did you ever meet a young lady by the name of Tara Baker?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How'd you meet Tara?
I met Tara through actually one of the cheerleaders I have become friends with, Phil Peavy, and his sister was Ashley Peavy, and that was one of Tara's closest friend, if not best friend. And that was how we had the introduction.
And Ashley Peavy, does she have a different name now? Is she married?
Yes, I believe it's Ashley Hall.
Okay. And if you pardon me for just a minute, I'm going to pour myself a glass of water. Would you like a glass of water?
Yes, sir, please.
What?
I mean, the prosecutor could have just said, "Would you like me to also kiss your ass?" Why is he's being so weirdly nice to this guy? This guy is a prosecution witness. Like, and I don't mean that he would need to be mean to him, but don't you think he's like over the top here? It's
That's weird.
yeah. Well, and like Jess says she missed that he joined the cheerleading squad. Yes, that's how
That's
yeah,
how
he
that was
knew,
relevant. Yes.
apparently. But yes, the prosecution is being the defense of Chris. It is true. It is absolutely true. But this whole exchange was so weird to me. It was like, this is like weirdly overly friendly for a witness, isn't it?
Mhm.
Just comes off weird.
So Ashley Peavy, who is Ashley Hall, now introduced the two of y'all. When you left Georgia College, where did you go?
Once I left Georgia College, I moved back home with my parents.
So when you and Tara met at Georgia College, did y'all ever go on any dates or anything?
Yes, actually, the first date we had was her sorority, AD Pi sorority, formal, and she did not have a date, and I was approached, would I be interested in being her companion for the evening, and I was all for it. Yes, sir. And
Okay.
That was our first date.
At the time, was Tara someone you were interested in romantically?
Before that, I would say no, sir.
Okay.
We had introductions, and I thought she was gorgeous, but I wasn't pursuing. No, sir.
Okay. And so did your relationship become more serious after you left Georgia College?
Yes, sir. We the night of the formal, we kind of had a spark, and while I was at the school, we kind of would cross paths and so forth, but in social events and so forth, but our relationship took off after I had left, and she had moved back to her parents, and we got reconnected, and that's when it really became an exclusive relationship.
And you said when she went back to her parents, do you know where her parents were living?
Her parents lived in Lovejoy.
Okay. And do you know what she was doing when she went back home?
She went back home. She started working at a law firm, a real estate law firm.
In Lovejoy?
I believe it was.
Okay.
They're in the vicinity.
While she was at Georgia College, do you know what kind of student Tara was?
She was an incredible student.
Okay.
So,
How long, if you know, did it take her to graduate from Georgia College?
I believe it was early. I believe she was a year early on her graduation.
Okay. And do you know how many degrees she graduated with?
I believe 2.
All right. How did that compare to you as a student?
She outperformed me, by all means, in most, I would say.
Why do
And
I
I'm
feel
sorry,
like
I
that
cut
wasn't
you off.
hard?
You said "and most."
Yeah.
Is
I
that
would say
right?
in most, yes, sir.
Yeah, I don't think it took much.
When you got home and college didn't work out for you or wasn't for you, what were you trying to do with your life, or what did you decide to get into?
Well, I was introduced to a plumbing ad in a newspaper by my mother the first day that I made it home. I came down the stairs, and as I turned the corner, she's sitting at the dining room table with the newspaper open and had already highlighted a plumbing job that was advertised. And she said, you're getting to work.
Yeah. So you weren't just going to get to hang out and watch TV, I guess. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is that something you began to pursue kind of more seriously than just passing the time and making a little bit of money?
Yes, once I got involved,
Chris, would you like to hand out your business cards?
Hmm. Is anybody interested in a plumber? Would anyone like to date this man?
Oh my God. They're working
Why are they
overtime to make
soft
the
doing
jury
this guy
like
like
him.
this?
They're
Yeah,
making him so personal, so personable.
yeah, yeah.
Whew.
When the reality is he failed out of college and moved back in with his parents. I mean, it's not
Right.
that,
Not
which
that
happens,
deep.
but it's not that deep. Yeah.
No.
it actually became interesting. It seemed like a different side of my brain was activated. It was actually fairly easy to me. I'm not downplaying what the tasks are, but it's something I connected with very quickly. My father's side, he was a very good engineer, fabricator, pipe fitter. He wasn't necessarily a plumber, but he could build and take down and reconstruct about anything you could think of.
Okay. And were you and your dad pretty close?
Oh, very tight.
Okay. Is he still with us?
Unfortunately, no.
Okay. And when did he pass away?
May 26th of 2024.
And so I want to get back to you and Tara's relationship as you're living with your parents and she is back home with her folks in Lovejoy. Around what year is this?
98.
Okay. Did you text a lot of people back in 1998?
I don't think I could text in 1998.
All right. So how is it that you and Tara were able to reconnect after she gets home and you're home?
While I was still at Georgia College, we had
I'm going to guess carrier pigeon at this point. Carrier pigeon. That's how could they reconnect if they couldn't text? What the hell?
Also,
Right,
there
right,
was
exactly.
texting in 1998. It was just damn expensive because you'd go over.
I guess, but like, what is the point of all of this? Like, this
Right.
is like background on steroids.
Mm-hmm.
started having affections for each other. We weren't in a relationship, but each time that we crossed paths, our eyes would lock and we'd smile and spend some extended period of time together. And during that time, before she left, before I'd left, she had found me on campus and made sure that I had her information back to Lovejoy, where her parents were, her phone number, her address, and she had written it on an index card. And once she handed that to me, I folded it up, put it in my wallet, and made sure I never lost it.
Okay. And so how far away from each other were y'all living during that time period?
Quite a distance,
Okay.
I would say.
As best you can recall, do you remember how long it took to drive from your parents' house to her parents' house, roughly?
Hour and a half, hour, 45 minutes.
Okay. How did the relationship progress? Was it something that started quickly or slowly, or how did that happen?
Well, it progressed with the first phone call. I reached out, and our first conversation, it was like we had been talking the whole time. And I recall spending 2+ hours with her on the phone, and it just came naturally. And I recall her just being, so funny, so smart. She was intriguing. She just bragged about her family, her siblings, her parents, what they did, and the conversation would just naturally roll out, and that made me want to continue to speaking with her and further on. And then we spoke day after day after day, and then I was invited out to her home for our first visit and then pretty much our first date.
Okay. After your first visit and first date, how often would y'all get to see each other in person?
On the weekends, mostly. She was working, I was working, and we would see each other like Friday night or like a Saturday night, what was available, working with our schedules. Never spent the night. It was just always a day visit, a night to the evening, and then either I would have to leave, and then we would find things to do, locally, or at her parents' house. We'd watch movies or spend some time with the family or whatnot. But that's how it slowly progressed there. So.
As you continued that relationship, did you learn anything about Tara's plans for the future?
Yes, she had admirations to go to law school, and at first I remember she wanted to be a Supreme Court justice at one point, if I'm not mistaken. And then she got into, when she was working at the real estate law firm, that sparked her interest. She started getting more involved in that, and I think she liked the, as she would say, happy law. And that kind of fit her and suited her personality better.
Okay. And so did she have plans to go to law school?
Yes, sir.
Is there anywhere in particular that she wanted to go to law school?
UGA.
All right. And is that something she was able to accomplish as far as being able to attend UGA Law School?
Yes, sir.
All right. And do you recall when it is that let me ask it this way. Did Tara end up moving out of her parents' house?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Where did she move to?
Her first apartment was Timothy Woods.
Okay. Timothy Woods, where is that? What city?
That is in Athens.
All right. And when, if you recall, did she move to Timothy Woods?
'99, I would say, around that time. 99.
Okay.
Somewhere in that area.
So when she first moved to Athens, did she move here to start law school or to start something else?
When she moved to Athens, she had a job at another law firm. Excuse me.
Was that law firm in Athens?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And do you remember how long roughly she worked there until she started law school?
Yes, sir. I would close to a year,
Okay.
I believe.
And so when is it that Tara started law school?
2000.
All right. And I want to back up and talk about what you were doing in this time frame. We talked about you had kind of found a home in plumbing. It was something that suited you and that you learned pretty quickly. Is that something that you were continuing to pursue?
Yes, sir.
All right. And so were you working for a company or how were you working as a plumber during that time period?
Okay. When I began, I worked for a company named Car Plumbing, and they had great ownership, great superintendents, great instruction, and that made things easier. And once I was there and I was exposed to the environment and blueprints and the procedures, it sparked I was a hands-on person. I liked putting things together. And so that helped me in actually pursuing plumbing in itself. I could see the potential. The owners of the business were very well off. They were very successful. So I saw a future in that, and that was a goal at that point.
Okay.
What the hell does any of that have to do with anything?
Right. What does it have to do with anything? There was a lot of this. There was a lot of hand holding Chris through the process. They talk about, when he hears that she's been killed and stuff like that. But his affect is so flat. And there's just this weird good old boy friends kind of quality to the interaction that is really weird.
Well, right. That was just a lot of work glazing him to the jury. He's just a good old boy like you guys. He's just a blue collar guy. No shade to blue collar guys, but they were really working hard to paint him
Right. There was a lot of that. Now,
Mhm.
his alibi the day of the murder was pretty much just he told the cops where he was and they said, "Okay, yep, you didn't kill her." There's not a huge amount, there wasn't originally a huge amount of verifying of that alibi. And he said that he like got his work truck and then he went to this truck place that was working on his truck. Well, now he's changed his story that he actually went to the bank, and they have proof that he did go to the bank. But he didn't tell the cops he went to the bank in the original story. They've
Weird.
actually gone back now, and the teller from the bank actually they talked to her, and yeah, he was there. But it's not the story that he told, and this is the problem: is that there's a lot of stories that he tells that don't quite line up. And they actually had an analyst earlier testify that they analyzed his alibi and determined that it was impossible for him to have committed this murder. They literally used that word, impossible.
Oh, give me a break.
How is that a word you use in a trial like that? You can't,
Right.
anything is possible. Plus, just the lack of follow-up
Right.
was odd. So then we get to a question about whether or not his DNA was actually present in the victim. Just remember, there's been some questions about that. So I'm going to let the defense talk about that.
But I do want to talk about a difficult subject with you. You mentioned that you were told that your DNA was in Miss Baker's anus. Is that right?
Yes, there was a point in time I found out.
And we've agreed that that time didn't occur during your recorded interview. Is that right?
I can't recall.
That is fair. So let me ask you this, Mr. Melton. You would agree that Miss Baker did not engage in anal sex with you. Is that correct?
That's correct.
You would agree that Miss Baker was sexually assaulted anally. Is that correct?
I wouldn't really know if she was sexually assaulted anally. Like, I don't.
Well, we can't have it both ways, Mr. Melton.
I don't understand the.
You previously stated that Miss Baker, not Miss Baker, I'm sorry, Miss Bigham
I see.
and Jeremy Howell told you that your DNA was in her anus. Can we agree on that? Is that fair to say?
Maybe I'm mistaken on how I found that information out. Maybe.
I'm going to object to lack of personal knowledge. Mr. Cruz is asking this witness about information relayed to him as hearsay by other witnesses who had the actual information. So I think that's both lack of personal knowledge as well as calling for hearsay.
All right. Any response to the objection, Mr. Cruz?
Sure. Mr. Melton stated that he was aware that his DNA was found in Miss Baker's anus. He stated that Miss Bigham and Jeremy Howell were the individuals that told him, and we're fleshing out his knowledge in regards to what he's aware of, Your Honor.
I think as to the form of the question, I'm going to sustain the objection. You may rephrase if you choose to do so.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor. But there should be no reason that your DNA should be in Miss Baker's anus. Would you agree?
I mean, other than if we have had sex and it has transferred from there and, say, drained down to that area. But
that is interesting that you say drain, because did you know that's the exact same thing the state is arguing in this case?
well, I mean, it makes sense, though.
Okay,
it
this
doesn't.
is so gross, but I want you to think about this for a minute. He uses
don't want
the
to.
same language the state has used, which really makes you question if he's been coached on this particular
Yeah.
topic. Let me say this the nicest way I can. Your back door is a door that goes one way, out. Unless something is inserted in it, things don't go in it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So how does something drain down and just get... No,
Jesus
doesn't work.
Christ.
that does not work. His
Her
DNA
poor
is in
family
her
having to sit
anus.
through this.
I know.
Oh.
But his DNA is there, and he swears up and down that they didn't do that kind of stuff. They were pretty, as you could tell from the way the prosecutor was talking to him, they were pretty pure, friends, pretty pure.
Yeah.
Yes, he said that he has not seen her for 6 days. Yes, Jess, he said 6 days, which is too long.
Right, for his
If-
DNA to still be showing
for
up
his-
in her body. Yeah.
Yes, it's too long. 3 is the maximum. So 6 doesn't work. That timeline does not fit. Also, you can't just say, well, I guess it just did this. And, oh, that's evidence. No, it is not evidence. What is
No.
evidence is that swab exists and that DNA exists.
Mm-hmm.
So they really
So
wanted
was
you to
his
think.
DNA not vaginal in her?
No, it was only found anally.
Oh my God.
Now, Faust's DNA found, I believe, in all 3 orifices.
Mm-hmm.
But at this point, first of all, there are 2 DNA donors here, friends. You would really think from what the prosecutors had to say so far that is not the case. But it is.
Mm-hmm.
There's no, timeline on when those things were introduced.
Right.
And this whole explanation is fucking weird. And
Yeah.
mechanically does not seem to work, right? Like,
Mm-hmm. Well, in timeline, how do you get around the timeline?
right, how do you get around the timeline? Because he doubles down on that today, that he did not see her for 6 days before she died. And how was his DNA inside her body still? How?
That does not track for me.
Nope, it doesn't. Right, so right makes all the DNA just drained there, because that's how the human body doesn't work.
Every drop of it, yes.
Yeah. Right, so why Faust and not this guy if they're going with DNA being inside of her? Right, because
Right.
they literally have no evidence connecting Faust to her and her house and that fire, and this dude's her boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And initially when he was interviewed, he told them that they had had a big blowout argument. Some people really felt like she had ended her relationship with him. He says now that when he said that, he was thinking of an argument they'd had 2 months prior and not right there and right before the murder. So he's changing that, which I think is very key. Plus, the timeline doesn't work. Plus, he's told multiple stories about where he was on the day that she was killed and what his alibi is. And they've just taken it as it is impossible for him to have killed her. For what reason? Yeah, chain of evidence is terrible. There's a lot of stuff that's a mess. I mean, this is a 25-year-old case. Chain of evidence sucks. There's been things that are lost. There's been things that are mislabeled. Like, all of it is weird.
Yeah.
But, like, this guy has a real connection to the victim.
Mm-hmm.
The man on trial has none at all.
And this guy has DNA in her body in a place he swears he's never been.
Yeah.
And
The refusal to acknowledge that, yes, he had anal sex with her and that it just somehow magically arrived there.
And we're just
What?
taking that at face value and trying to
And we're
hand that to the jury
Right.
like this makes sense.
Right. The prosecution is just taking that at face value.
Mhm.
Another thing is that, he has been like extremely cooperative
Mhm.
through this entire thing, over years, extremely
Yeah.
cooperative. And when the defense asked him why, he said it's because then the police were less likely to think he did it. He literally says that in this hearing today. And somehow the cops look at all of that and go, yeah, he definitely didn't do it. It's this black guy. It's this black guy for sure.
Mhm.
Like, what the fuck? Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, let's finish watching this.
So your DNA is in her anus because it drained down in her anus. Is that your position?
I would say that would.
Again, Your Honor, lack of personal knowledge, lack of foundation. There's been no foundation laid that Mr. Melton's aware of these things. That would all be through GBI crime lab witnesses who do have personal knowledge and scientific information. And so there's no foundation for these questions, and he's asking for things that are outside of Mr. Melton's personal knowledge. He's asking about things.
I would object to a speaking objection, Your Honor, and just ask the state to state the ground.
Okay, I'm going to overrule that objection. He was just explaining his objection. I'm going to respond in the same way as the last objection. I'm going to sustain the objection as to the form of the question, allow you to rephrase if you choose to do so.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
One of the objections that Cruz made today that I think is very valid is that every time that the defense objected during the cross, the defense immediately went into their argument about why they were objecting. Now, normally,
The state. You
you
mean the
make
state.
or the state. Normally, you make an objection, and then the judge will decide: do I need you to explain your objection to me or not? No, they jump in, and the judge just lets them go and go and go, and they're basically giving information to Chris Melton in the way that the prosecutor handled this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. The way that he gives it, giving a theory rather than exactly, Jules. Jules says, how about I don't know how it got there because it never happened. That's not really what he says, is it?
Right.
Yeah.
Would you agree that in order for your DNA to drain into Ms. Baker's anus, you would have to have sex with her? Can we agree on that point?
Agree.
Okay. Did you have sex with Ms. Baker the day of her death?
No, sir.
The last time you saw Ms. Baker, was it 6 days before, 10 days before?
From the beginning, I've said I saw her the weekend prior.
From the beginning, you've said that?
Yes, sir.
That you've seen her the weekend, and that has always been what you said?
There was a time that I was confused, and it was 20 plus years later. And then I made a statement that I felt like maybe it was 10 days prior, and I was confused at that point because I have always said, from even meeting with the detectives from the beginning, that we were together that weekend. And then time had gone by, and I had even spoke out publicly for the first time.
Mr. Melton, to my question, is that a yes or a no?
Judge, he's in the middle of providing his answer. Again, the witness has a right to answer Mr. Cruz's questions in the manner that he believes the answer should be given.
It's non-responsive, Your Honor, and I would ask the state to stop the speaking objections because they are coaching the witness in the middle of his testimony.
Okay, I'm going to overrule that objection, and I'm going to sustain the state's objection. This witness is allowed to respond to your question, and if he's in the middle of responding, no one can interrupt. You may continue if you choose to do so.
Well, time had gone by, and then I had spoken publicly. At this point, I have stated over and over again that we were together the weekend before. And then there was a point in time that Tara's mother had stated that she was at her house.
I'm going to object to hearsay.
I am going to sustain that objection.
Your Honor,
Yes.
I don't want to send the jury out, but I would like to approach to understand.
So Cruz can't object. He can't shut this guy down for what he's saying. No one's allowed to, according to the judge, no one's allowed to, except for the state.
Except for the state who objects to their own witness answering a question he just fought to get him to answer. And is he coaching this guy? Because he's so verbose with his objections. He has not been like this with other witnesses. If you've watched this trial, this prosecutor is particularly defensive of Chris Melton. It's different than the way that he's behaved with every other witness. It's there is a bias there that I think is showing
Something. Yeah.
Something. something's wrong with this, isn't it? And right, like does Chris Melton does not look confident. He does not look sure. And whether it's 6 days or 10 days, that's too long. Right. Somebody said, so she never used the restroom or took a shower for 6 days? And no, because the DNA still will get broken down inside of your body.
Yeah.
It only lasts 3 days. It's just, that's just science.
Yeah.
The parameters of which I could.
Yeah, he did say that. He said she smelled like shampoo when they found her. Somebody said that. Like she had just recently showered.
Oh, yeah. It had to do with the fire.
Yeah, it had to do with the fire. Yeah, the fire was so unsuccessful that
You could
her
still
hair
smell
didn't
the
even smell
shampoo in
like
her
smoke.
hair. Yeah.
Yes. Sorry, I did not mean to get this argument in here. I thought I didn't, but I guess I did. Let me get. There's the defendant. Remember that guy? His name is Edrick Faust.
Yeah.
He's the guy this trial's about. You wouldn't know it though.
Well, they brought a new
Nope.
attorney on today as well.
Yeah.
One of the YSL attorneys.
No, that was a reporter, not an attorney. There was someone who'd covered the YSL trial, wanted to cover this one, trying to get a hold of the live stream.
Oh,
Yeah, she's not an
that's
attorney.
what I read. Okay.
I don't know what's happening here.
No, yeah, it's Justin Hill.
Oh.
He was one of the YSL
Oh, so there are two
attorneys.
YSL connections in this trial today.
Okay.
That is
Yeah.
bizarre.
So Justin
So he's-
Hill has just entered a notice of appearance today.
Okay. Well,
Interesting.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Your current residence, I won't say your address, but your current residence is the same residence that your parents stayed in 2001. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And at that time, you stayed in the basement. Is that correct?
At that time, I would have been on the second story.
Forgive me.
Bedroom.
I asked that question wrong. The week before Tara's death, you went to your parents' home. Is that correct?
That's correct.
During that time, you stayed in the basement. Is that right?
No, sir. I think it was in my old bedroom in the second story.
Court's indulgence, Your Honor.
Sorry, guys. I didn't do an
I don't
excellent
recall.
job of editing this, I can tell.
Say that one more time. You don't recall what now?
I don't recall.
Being asked that question?
Yes, sir.
Okay, do you recall making the statement, so I was working there and driving back and forth? Well, my parents, we had a furnished basement, so then that's where I was. Do you recall making that statement?
I don't recall making the statement, but it seems okay.
Judge, I move to introduce
That's such a weird thing to not have clarity on. Whatever house you're staying in, you know where your bedroom is.
think any of the
Right.
foundation for proper admission has been laid. However, if this is that interview, the state would stipulate to the foundation for the admissibility.
Can you all confer about whether that's accurate since you're offering to stipulate?
So one of the things that they did a bunch of was they'd take the jury out, they'd play a recording of a police interview to remind him of what he's told the police 25 years ago, because he just kept, I don't remember, I don't know what I said, But one of the things that Cruz is doing that I think is pretty brilliant is he has this one of those big Post-it note things on an
Chartings,
easel.
yeah.
And he's having people go up there and write their name and then write key information that they say is true on there, which I'm sure is going to show up in his closing. That's my assumption. But it was really, really smart because he went up there and had him write some stuff, and then he had to go back up and write, oh, just cross something out, put something new, because he was wrong. He's not consistent. He's not consistent at all. And how do they reconcile that his DNA is also in the victim's body?
I don't know how you
whole
can.
case is that Edrick Faust's DNA is in the victim's body. Well, so is Chris Melton's.
And Chris Melton, didn't he have a bunch of physical injuries too?
Yes, so he has all these injuries on his hands, and he says that the way that he got those is he was so upset after she died that he went and he punched a bunch of holes in drywall. And they show pictures of his hands, and Cruz hits him pretty hard about that. And he's pointing out some injuries that maybe wouldn't have been from punching drywall. And what about those? And are those from work, or where are those from? And again, he's just so inconsistent. It's at one point he kind of has a panic attack, and they have to take a minute for him to settle down. But it's the fakest panic attack I've ever seen. He shows him a picture of Tara Baker because the police ask him to identify Tara's body so that Tara's parents don't have to do it, which I think is weird.
Yeah.
And I think maybe this was probably a tactic on the part of the police, really. They take him to the crime scene, but then they try to get permission to take him in to see her body, like in situ, and they don't get permission for that. So one of them goes and takes a picture of her on a digital camera. Remember, this is 2001.
Right.
Digital camera, brings it out, tiny little screen, and shows it to him and says, "Is this Tara?" And at first he wasn't even sure it was Tara until he noticed an earring that she was wearing, which is an earring he had given her as an anniversary gift, which is a diamond earring. So then he identifies her. So Cruz brings up a picture and says, "Is this the picture that you saw?" And he has the weirdest, fakest panic attack I've ever seen. And he's going, but it's like, it's staged. It's not real. It doesn't come across as a real panic attack. He's not crying, for one. There's no tears. There's just the hard breathing. And he says he's got to have a minute. And he says it is not the picture that he saw. Which he then rolls that back and says, well, I don't know, because I saw it on a tiny little digital camera screen. Maybe it was. And they've got a sheet pulled up over her body, so all it is just her face sort of turned to the side, and he notices from the ear. But excuse me, the panic thing, just, it wasn't real. It was. We've all seen people have a panic attack. Yeah, they do bring out the earring for him to identify, but the panic attack thing, I was like, he's faking it. Because it wasn't grief. It wasn't like the grief you would have of seeing the dead body of someone you loved.
Yeah.
And the shock of it. It wasn't that. Like, and I know some of you in the chat are saying that you saw this and that you felt the same. That it wasn't. That's not what it was. I don't know.
I did pull up a picture of the hands as well.
Oh yeah, show them to us real quick. Because I thought I had some, but apparently I didn't. So yeah, see how his knuckles are all banged up and barked up, and then he's got some injuries on his thumbs too.
Yeah.
He at the time told the police they were all from punching the drywall. He changed that story on the stand today, that some of the injuries, like on his thumbs and stuff, were just nicks from being a plumber. But again, like, the story does not stay the same. The story changes over and over again.
Yeah.
Right? How would he see the earring? I don't know. I genuinely, I don't know, because I have no idea what's actually true with Chris Melton.
Yeah.
All right. You may proceed. And it is, are you asking to admit it, Mr. Cruz?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
That portion.
And just that portion. Okay. Mr. Yalamanchili, are you objecting to what Mr. Cruz has just offered into evidence? That particular disc?
I don't have a transcript pulled up, Judge, but accepting Mr. Cruz's representation that what he's going to play is the answer that he just asked Mr. Melton about that he didn't recall, I don't have any objection.
All right. And it is that minute mark that the defense has just articulated is admitted.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And you said that was what, Mr. Cruz? I'm sorry, 14?
1442
Thank you. Go ahead.
through 1448.
Okay.
Okay, let's just go ahead and stop that. It's more confronting him of like what he said about the injuries on his hands, how he got those, versus what he's saying today. He changed his story a bunch of times. But it just seems like the police just really didn't want this guy to be guilty.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. And this prosecutor certainly doesn't want this. You can see it all the way he soft sold that. And yeah, I mean, like you said, Katie, they could have been passing his plumber business cards around in the room, or anyone got a single daughter, I don't know if the guy's married or whatever now, but,
Right.
like
That's weird. Yeah.
yeah, it's a very weird way to treat someone who has supposedly been the suspect in this case all the way up until the time when the DNA came back. Except, wait, what about the DNA?
Yeah.
Because Chris Melton's DNA is, because you heard the prosecutor, he did not argue that is in fact the case.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, we know that she had hair between her fingers that was Caucasian. They say it doesn't match Chris Melton, but how do we know? Because you know what's
It's
missing?
gone.
The hair.
Yeah.
There's no hair. But yeah, I mean, this guy, he never met Edrick Faust, has never seen him before, knows nothing about Edrick Faust. Like, he has no connection to this person at all, except for this DNA now. But what about Chris? It's so bizarre.
It's so weird. Yeah. And Edrick Faust is not a good guy. No one's saying that. He's not.
No, he's had a lot of problems, but that doesn't
However,
mean that he
that
did
doesn't mean we
this.
put people on trial that aren't guilty. I don't know about this case. Every day I say I don't know about this case. I don't know what to say.
Every day I'm like, I'm fucking pissed at this case. And
Mhm.
today was the worst one because
Mhm.
of the way that the prosecutor got away with so much shit. The judge let him get away with all kinds of stuff.
Mhm.
The weird, like, constantly jumping in on his objections with stuff that really kind of felt like coaching that witness, that just
Or the
and
jury.
yeah, and Cruz pointed it out a couple of times, and the judge just totally blew him off for that.
Mhm. Per normal.
Yeah. So I don't know, guys. Right. Well, and I do have a feeling that this case is setting up to be fought out in appeals more than I have a feeling that Cruz knows they're going to lose this.
Yep.
But maybe the jury's smarter than that. Come on, jury, be smarter than that. What are you hearing here that tells you for sure?
Right.
Because Faust isn't just charged with, he is charged with the sexual assault, the murder, and the arson.
Right.
The only evidence they have of him is inside her body. How does that say he murdered her and that he set the fire?
Right. Also, no evidence on the outside of her body.
No evidence on the outside of her body. Of him.
Ugh, I hate this.
How do you do
Wow.
that?
Yeah.
How do you sexually assault someone in 3 orifices and not leave any DNA on the outside of their body?
Yeah.
I don't get it. We need to help the appeals attorney. I don't know, man. This case is driving me insane. I want to say that. Because the more I watch it, the more I'm like, what the hell is any of this?
Yeah. It's pretty jaw-dropping. The poor jury. I can't even imagine. I mean, first of all, just having to hear all this stuff over and over again, watching all of the sparring happening between the judge and the defense and the prosecution. All of
Well, and they
this
have
must
to
be
keep leaving
very
and coming
painful.
back.
Yeah.
And so they know that there's all this stuff going on that they don't get to know about, which
Mhm.
is weird. I don't know. I wish I was in the room so I could see their faces, honestly. I really
Me
do.
too. I was just thinking that. I wish I had any sense of what they are thinking
What
here.
they're picking up from this. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's where we're at. We'll keep updating you.
Okay.
And with that, Katie, let's hit some gun crap.
Did you guys need another trial to follow?
Oh man.
'Cause
No, but
this is
yes.
starting. I did not know about this case, and I'm surprised because this is the kind of stuff we follow. But this came up for me today, and I figured you guys would want to hear about it. This man here is Colin Gray, and jury selection began today on his trial. Colin Gray is charged with 29 felony counts, including second-degree murder, involuntary manslaughter, and numerous counts related to the cruelty of children. This is in Georgia. So what did Colin Gray do? Well, Colin Gray's son, Colt Gray, took a weapon that was purchased for him for Christmas, of all things, by Colin Gray to school and shot up the school and killed 2 adults, 2 children, injured quite a few more. This is a very crumbly case.
Yes. And we did cover this case when it first happened. I did.
We did. This was at Appalachia High School. Yeah.
Yes, but I didn't know that he was going to trial.
No. And in fact, Colt hasn't even been to trial yet.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
Colt hasn't been to trial. Yeah. But he is charged. And the reason he's charged is because he knew very well that his son was unwell. So the indictment says that he committed cruelty to children because he gave Colt access to a gun and ammunition after receiving sufficient warning that Colt Gray would harm and endanger the bodily safety of another. And then the second-degree murder charge is an unusual charge under Georgia law, but is defined as causing the death of a child by committing the crime of cruelty to children.
Wow.
So, here's what we know. Colt Gray was given the gun. It was an AR-style rifle as a Christmas gift not too long before the shooting. And Colt had a problem with this gun. The magazine wasn't big enough. He wanted to hold more bullets. So Colin was like, bet, man, we can do it. So he bought him a bigger magazine for said gun.
Buddy. Isn't this the guy that when he was originally arrested, he went through like major like meth withdrawals and was like sobbing in the courtroom because he was such a wreck?
I don't remember that. I don't know.
I remember that he was like shaking and crying in court when he was first arrested.
Here's a few things we know about Colt. Colt was obsessed with school shooters and had a shrine in his bedroom to Nicholas Cruz.
Oh God.
Who was the 2018 shooter at the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida.
Yeah.
His parents talked to the police, after the shooting about their son's fascination with school shooters, but they said they thought it was just kind of in joking context and not a serious issue. However, Colt was having some really serious mental health issues at this time, and they had even tried to get him into therapy. Colin was seeking a counseling service and sent them an email, and in the message he wrote, "We have had a very difficult past couple of years and he needs help. Anger, anxiety, quick to be volatile. I don't know what to do."
Well, apparently you did. You bought him a gun and then a bigger magazine.
And didn't secure any of it.
God,
Nothing was locked up. He had free access to the weapon, to the ammo, to everything.
My God.
We did cover the shooting. We just didn't cover the fact that Dad's charged and going to trial, which is amazing. So, at any rate, yeah. So he's going to trial now on 29 charges. Colt hasn't been to trial yet. There's a bunch of delays in his case for various reasons.
Well, he's
But
a minor.
yeah,
It's going to take a while, but wow.
yep, yep. So here we are. But it's very Crumbly in nature, you know? This
It
reminds
surely
me
is.
so much of Ethan Crumbly's parents. This kid was having mental health issues. But of course, he didn't have a, shrine in his bedroom to school shooters like Colt did.
Yeah, my God. Well,
And how
but
many
right,
times are we
Bethy.
going to hear that now? Because that just
Right.
keeps coming up.
Yeah, it does.
People turning
Well,
these
and
guys
right.
into heroes.
Crumbly wasn't a one-off. Agreed.
No,
Because these kids get these guns from somewhere,
Yeah,
and they can't buy them themselves.
no.
When a minor shoots up a school, an adult has purchased those guns and that ammunition.
An adult essentially owns those guns because you can't own
Yes.
that gun until you're 18, depending
Right.
on your state, maybe older. So how, I mean, it keeps happening because parents keep letting it happen in these instances. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that need to take a real lesson from this guy, just like Crumbly's and the mom of the 6-year-old that shot his elementary school teacher. Like,
Mhm.
you're the responsible party.
Or that kid that shot up the parade
Yes.
because it was a very similar, and his,
Cruz.
yep, and his dad was charged too for similar reasons. Very unwell people that they are buying guns for and letting them have free access to. I
Yeah.
mean, come on. This isn't that hard.
No, it isn't. No minor should have access like that, period.
No.
But one with some mental health issues and an obsession of a school shooter, like, dude, how dumb can you get?
hmm How irresponsible can you get?
Yeah.
Yep. So they started jury selection today. So we won't track this case down to the nitty gritty, but we'll certainly keep an eye on it and let you know what the outcome is.
Yeah. Well, it's another one of those precedent-setting situations.
It is. Yep. Yep. And every article I read about this, they compared this case to the Crumbly case, and I fully agree. Wowza.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very, very similar. Yikes. Well, what a day. If your head is spinning, so is mine.
Indeed.
And that just means we're back and it's Monday. So we will be back tomorrow at 3 p.m. Mountain. You can always find all of our content on YouTube or Spotify or Apple. Well, Apple, hopefully. Occasionally, every once in a while, Apple likes to drop an episode for reasons we don't know. But you can watch us and listen to us in many locations. I like to say that every once in a while because I forget. You might not know that, and I don't know where you're consuming our content to begin with. But yeah, we're on YouTube, we're on Spotify, we're on Apple, we're on all of the podcast platforms, and on YouTube and Spotify, you have video if you prefer video, or if you prefer audio, you can get audio and everywhere as well. But just a reminder that those are all places that you can find us. If you like our content and want extra, you can join the Super Squad at truecrimesquad.com. The Super Squad is there. It's $6 a month, and for that you get 2 extra episodes. You get the watch party, which is coming up. You get the Secret Archives, which is 5 years of Patreon episodes, and you get 20% off merch. So it is certainly worth it, and supports us and helps us keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
And you know what? We love you. We appreciate you. Take good care of yourselves. And with that, you know it. We are the True Crime Squad. Thanks for being here.
Take care.
Join the Super Squad, bonus laughs, deeper clues, same sharp sleuths, just extra clues.